discovering the wonders of our state's natural resources and exploring the thrill of outdoor adventure. Mississippi Outdoors is a co-production of the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks and Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Welcome to Mississippi Outdoors. I'm Amanda Mills.
And I'm Randy Newell. Thanks for joining us.
In our first story, Randy goes duck hunting in Hinds County.
Then Amanda heads up to the Mississippi Delta for a rabbit hunt in Humphreys County.
Let's go.
Hey folks, we're at Providence Plantation this morning and we're going on a duck hunt. We're out here with Jimmy Grant. Jimmy, thanks for having us.
Well, welcome to Providence.
I'm gonna let you introduce our duck hunting posse.
Well, Billy Munger from here in Jackson, Bruce Kleeman from Texas, and Rob Olson from Canada.
Yeah.
What part of Canada? I forgot.
I'm from a city called Winnipeg. Right in the center. It's minus 30 degrees at the moment up there. So I'm happy to be here.
Rob's president of Delta Waterfowl. We're just excited about having him here with us this morning.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're going to go on a little flooded barnyard grass field and hopefully kill some ducks this morning.
Y'all been seeing ducks this week?
We have. Even with the warm weather, we've just been very fortunate. Our ducks have stayed, and I hope they're still there this morning.
I can promise you one thing. I don't know if we're going to get any ducks, but Rob's definitely going to get picked on. He does not talk like us.
He told me we had an accent. So.
Let's go duck hunting, guys.
Sounds good.
They haven't hunted this place this year. They know the ducks are in here, but what we've got a lot of coffee weed out in front of our blinds, and we're actually going to push this down to where we'll have some clean shots.
There you go, guys. Pop them. Kill him. Ready? Kill him. Kill him.
Good shot. Hey guys, what do we do before Labrador Retriever?
Kill him.
Good shot.
Kill him.
Good shot.
Lots of
I think we'll get a lot of mallards stretching in.
Good morning. Kill him. Okay.
I think the feeder waterfowl is good. Here in Mississippi, I think there are more people now that really have a vision for habitat. For example, I'm an investor with some other guys at a tract of woods near a state wildlife management area called O'Keefe Wildlife Management Area. We bought a tract of woods called the Irby Woods that a timber company was going to basically clear cut. And we bought that piece of property and we preserved it for a green tree reservoir. And now it's a place where there's great duck habitat that would have been destroyed.
Kill him, guys.
Guys, y'all know who shot that duck.
Man, if we don't shoot another duck, this has been unbelievable. This is a great hunt.
That's a beautiful hunt.
Oh, man.
Hey folks, we're here for day 2 of duck hunting at Providence Plantation. Yesterday morning was one of the most awesome duck hunts I've ever been on in my life. Jimmy overheard y'all saying that we was coming to the honey hole today. I can't imagine.
We're at the honey hole, but it's 70 degrees, end of January. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
You've even got sweat.
I know. I'm sitting there just pouring sweat.
Hey, we're here. Let's try it. Let's go duck hunting.
Sounds good. Hey. Back, Greg, back. Back.
Watch it. Attaboy.
Kill him, guys. Kill him.
Hey.
Oh man, that was good. That's what I like to do.
Hey, we just finished duck hunting, Providence Plantation. 70 degrees today, it's a late season duck hunt, but I don't believe it gets any better than this. Jimmy, just as always, just a first-class operation. We have enjoyed it. Just thank you for the opportunity to be able to come out here and hunt.
Thank y'all for coming out and joining us.
Appreciate it. You know what we got to do now? These guys have got to go and clean
Clean the
ducks.
ducks, that's right.
Did you know that the money spent on your hunting and fishing license is an investment?
The Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks uses money from license sales to enhance hunting and fishing.
Like providing public hunting opportunities for wildlife management areas.
Advise private landowners on deer and habitat management.
Providing public fishing opportunities on state lakes.
And operating fish hatcheries for stocking public lakes and streams.
So make an investment in the great outdoors.
Buy your Mississippi hunting and fishing license today. This morning we're going rabbit hunting in Humphreys County. I'm with my friend Irby Stewart. Irby, tell me about today.
We're in some old abandoned catfish pond, and they've grown up, and we're going to get into some rabbits today. We hope there's a lot of rabbits here.
Looks like the guys are ready, the dogs are ready. Let's go.
Come on. Come in here. Look forward. Come on, look in here. Look in here. Look forward.
That's the kind of jump we're gonna get.
Right there. 2 seconds to react.
What kind of rabbit is this?
What you call it, hillbilly rabbit. And hopefully we'll get in some cane cutters, and that's a big rabbit. That's some good eating right there.
That was just one fine shot, just dead out running.
What about that when you shot before that?
Well, he was sitting still. I couldn't hit him either.
Rat.
I don't do mice or rats. And that was a huge rat. Was that a rat?
That was a rat.
Woo.
Still rat.
He's this long.
Right here, man. Here it comes, man. Here he goes, man. Get him right there front. Right there in front.
Did I get it?
I don't know. I couldn't see it anymore. Did you go like you're wrong?
Yeah, I thought it was.
No. That was fun anyway.
You got him.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He got him that time.
Woo!
Oh, he missed.
Gosh. Dang it, I knew. Knew that rascal would do that. Woo!
All right, finally.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We ran that rabbit throughout.
Yeah, he went through everybody, and I finally slid on the back end and got a shot. Finally hit one.
The dogs did good.
They did good.
Good.
Dead diamond. Dead. Let's find another.
The goal of the study is to determine if the smallest antlered 1-year-old buck, meaning a deer with spikes this long, and a 6-point or 7-point or 8-point, the larger antlered 1-year-old bucks, are they equal when they hit 5 years old? And in order to do so, they've got to live to be 5, and then they've got to be harvested at some point at 5 years old or older. We're using dart guns and a drop net to try to capture these deer. We have sights. We'll put hunters on stands with dart guns. We have to get the deer to a very tight window, specifically about 20 yards, and shoot them with a dart gun. The dart will deliver a tranquilizer to the deer, and it has a transmitter in the back of the dart. When the deer runs off, we'll be able to get a receiver and an antenna and follow the deer by the beat emitted from the transmitter, find the deer, work the deer up at the capture location. We will tag it there, give it a reversal drug, and turn it loose. The net operates slightly different in that the net has been up and we've got deer coming under the net. And as the deer get near the center pole, we will hit a switch, a remote control, which will drop the net onto the deer. The deer will then be hand injected with the tranquilizer. And then once they are out completely, we will untangle them from the net, drag them out, and work them up. They'll be released at that site also. Everything's getting ear tags, 2 plastic ear tags visible from front and back, and a metal ear tag. Once we've got the animal on the ground, we're going to take several measurements. If it is a 1-year-old buck, we're going to measure his antlers. We're going to take pictures from all 4 sides, front, back, left, right. We're going to measure total body length. We're going to measure chest girth. And we're also going to weigh the deer in an improvised scale, which we just have a scale, an iron rod, and a blanket. And once they're tagged, weighed, temperature recorded, and those specific measurements, they'll be reversed. The deer will get up and run off. It's simply voluntary that we're asking these hunters not to harvest these deer. If the deer next year that we've tagged this year, if their antlers meet legal state requirements, they can be harvested. We would ask people that they don't because they are part of a research project, but no fine would be associated. In fact, inside each tag, we have written in permanent ink, please call MDWFP, and provided a phone number for hunters, if they do harvest these deer, to call us so that we can take antler measurements. They would still be able to keep the deer. We would just ask, could we measure the antlers if they do happen to shoot them? We hope to find out, are the small ones still small at 5-year-old, and are the big ones still bigger at 5-year-old? As many hunters are practicing quality deer management these days, it's going to allow them the ability to age deer on the hoof better. If a hunter happens to see one of these deer while he's out hunting and it's red or it's yellow ear tags, he'll know the age of all red tag deer that year, so maybe that red is 3-year-old. He'll be able to look and judge and learn from that deer. He will say, okay, I'm off limits on harvesting this deer. It's a 3-year-old. I'm trying to shoot 5-year-old deer. And he can then use it as a learning tool to study that deer's body features to be able to better age the rest of the deer, which will be untagged. There have been some studies conducted in Texas and other states up in the Northeast that have looked at this, but no one has ever done it using hunter observations to help collect their data and using trail camera pictures. And just as a side note, we tagged 7 deer last year. Very small start. We only trapped for a couple of nights, and we have all 7 of those deer back on camera this year.
Our next story follows the recovery of the black bear in Mississippi.
Research shows this beautiful animal making a comeback all over the Magnolia State.
Bears are listed as endangered throughout Mississippi, and of course the Louisiana black bear, which is the subspecies that's found in the southern 2/3 of Mississippi, it's listed as federally threatened under the Endangered Species Act. Obviously this is due to very low numbers. We're trying to do all that we can to protect the bears that are still here, and obviously to learn as much as we can about them so that we as biologists and wildlife managers can do a better job keeping track of them. But the population in Mississippi is definitely growing. You know, by our estimates, it has literally tripled in the last 6 or 7 years. Now, of course, that number is still relatively low. We estimate there are probably about 120 bears throughout the state, which obviously isn't very many considering an entire state. But when you consider how fast it's grown just in the last 6 or 7 years, you know, it's pretty impressive. It's the 1st of March. We are going to do some aerial telemetry, which is where we're going to take this airplane up with these antennas affixed to the wings, and we mount them to the strut of the wing. We have one on each side of the plane. It gives us a directional signal finding ability. We have a switch box inside of the plane which we can flip back and forth from left to right. That way when we do pick up the signal, we can zero in on it. And today we are going to fly over the lower delta, tracking down and marking locations on some of our radio-collared bears. In particular, some of our radio-collared female bears. We're trying to find where they're denned up at so that we can come back in on the ground and find the actual den location. And then we're going to do what's called a den check, which is where we tranquilize the female bear. We change out her collar, her radio collar, so that it has a fresh battery in it so that it'll last a while. And then hopefully, if she has cubs, we will tag, weigh, and measure the cubs. It gives us an idea of how fast the population is growing, how many bears are born year to year, and also if we capture them farther on down the line, we can tell which cub is which through the tags, and gives us an idea of survivability, how old they are, where they came from, lots of good information. We hope to have at least 3 new litters of cubs this year. There's really no way to know for sure until we actually get up there and perform the den check on the female. But We expect to have at least 2 or 3 different litters of cubs this year. Anything less than that, and we'd be pretty disappointed.
We're in Sharkey County on the Little Sunflower River. We're headed to, we have a bear den down here. We're gonna go and check it out, and we'll let you know what we do from there.
We are probably we're probably about 100 yards or so from where the bear was denned at. We did a flight on last Thursday, and I flew over just to make sure she was still in the same area. We picked her up right in this area, so we assume she's still in the tree. We're fixing to get all our gear together and go out there and climb, and hopefully she's going to have some cubs that we can weigh and measure and tag as well. But we're fixing to go out there, get our gear together, and see what we got. See the one round hole? Yeah. Watch it, you'll see her ear move into it. Keep your eye on it, you'll see her ear come up into the hole. Yeah. Today, we had this bear up in a tree den, which is a little bit different from what we normally see, I would say. You know, a lot of times they den on the ground or in brush piles. This particular bear was up in a big hollow tree. So we set a line, a climbing rope. I climbed up the tree. We used a little CO2 pistol to fire a special dart that has a modified needle on it. So we hit the bear with the dart. With the first dart, it didn't exactly work the way we had planned on it to. She got a little agitated. Obviously, she was just scared. She could hear people talking and knew that I was up there. The second dart worked great though. She came down out of the tree, and we were able to replace her collar. We got lots of good measurements on her. We'll get a lot of incredible information off of that collar as well. So overall, it really turned out well. She wasn't going to hurt me. That's not her goal. She's just trying to get us away from her. And so, you know, I came down the tree and let everything kind of calm down. And eventually she came out of the tree on her own, and then we were able to work her up once the drug took effect. You know, as we put these collars on different bears in different parts of the state, it gives us new information about that particular area of the state that we didn't know before. And that's where a lot of the graduate research from Mississippi State is going to really pay off big dividends.
We've been involved in this project for about 1 year now, and what we're doing is looking at resource use, particularly trying to understand which habitats black bears in Mississippi prefer. We have so far information from about 5 different black bears in Mississippi with these GPS collars. This bear earlier today was a gold mine for us because she had almost 2 years of solid information where we have a location about every 5 hours over the last couple of years, so an incredible amount of information on what bears in Mississippi do.
We have radio collared 28 different bears in the state of Mississippi in the last 6 years. Now, obviously not all those collars are still working. Some of them have dropped off, or the batteries have died, or whatever the case may be. But we have gathered telemetry data, or tracking data, on 28 different bears in the state. This data is, you know, new data that we didn't have before. Gives us a lot of good information about, you know, habitat preferences, movements, den usage, lots of things that we really had no way of knowing before.
Hey, that's all the time we have for this week. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Join us again next time for more exciting adventures. Until then,
I'm Amanda Mills.
And I'm Randy Newell.
See ya outdoors.